What? I do hope you'll enjoy it. I made it with all the things you love. Oh. Oh, I knew it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're playing a game called Sweet Dreams. So we've played the original game to this, or like the game that's in the same universe called Missing. We played it quite some time ago. Really good dialogue, really good and well made. It's a visual novel if you haven't figured it out yet. Now this one really piqued my interest because of the way in which it has its endings. So originally this has two endings, with apparently the second ending being the canon ending, which will continue on into further games. Apparently the characters in this game will go on to other series. But what piqued my interest is the fact that there is a super secret ending in which you have to actually go into the system files and delete certain things to try and get that ending. And you can only delete those after you've got the original two endings. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the original two endings. It's really like cool concept to use, and I just really kind of find this cool. So I thought, considering it anyway, we've played his original game. I really like his games, so we're gonna check this out. Oh, I'm pooped. Can't wait to just collapse in a nice comfy bed. You yawn again. At this point, it's a fight to keep your eyes open. Tiredly, you pull out your phone to check your arrival status. Not for another hour. This place is really out in the bones. The boonies. The boonies. Okay? This place is really out in the boonies. Your destination is Border Springs, an idyllic little countryside town. It's where you were born and raised, although you have little to no memory of the place anymore. I want to go home already. This entire trip had been your mother's idea. Ring ring. Speak of the devil. Beep. Hello? Lee? Unruly red hair, piercing eyes, a successful and ruthless businesswoman. Even now, as she speaks to her only child, there is no hint of tenderness in her features. Hi, Mom. Did you arrive yet? Not for another hour. I see. How's the ride been so far? It's different. Everything here is so outdated. The trains look like it was made like 200 years ago. 147 years ago. The railroad never bothered to upgrade it. But it does its job. Once a week it goes to and from the nearest city for supplies, picking up the occasional passenger on the way, although people don't tend to take this route in the first place. You should be glad it's still running. The only other alternative to getting to Border Springs is by foot. Thank you, Mum. Miss CEO of Trains. It still sucks and I still want to go home. You're spoilt and that's why. I've coddled you for far too long. You do nothing all day but stay in your room playing video games. It's time you get out into the real world. By shipping me off someplace so remote it doesn't even show up on the map? It's your birthplace. You'll be thanking me, Lee. Besides, you have Petunia there. I'm not even that close to her anymore. We've barely spoken since I moved. You got along just fine 10 years ago. Make it work. I have a meeting to go to soon. Let me know when you arrive. Bye, little plum. Ugh. Bye, Mom. So much for that, I guess. You look around the passenger car. Like your mother said, there weren't many people taking this train in the first place. The passenger car was practically empty, and ideally you'd use this time to doze off a little. Keyword being ideally. Oh, babe, I love you so much. Oh, I done the... Okay. I love you so much more. Mwahaha. It's not like I'm gonna get a wink of sleep anyway with how loud that couple behind me has been since this entire ride. Oh, I'll just go to the restroom. Splashing some cold water on my face might help me wake up. You get up out of your seat and... Oh, excuse... me? Hey, he looks very similar to the guy from Missing. A familiar face looks back at you with concern. Ah, are you hurt? No, sorry. I wasn't looking where I was... going. You squint at him. Those droopy eyes and nervous demeanor, he reminds you of someone. Have we met before? Are you hitting on me? What? No, I'm not. Sorry, it was a dumb question anyway. No, not at all. I'm CRO. He slyly motions to himself. I work here. Let me know if you need anything. I'm at your service. Right, You yawn in his face, but quickly catch yourself. Sorry, that was rude. I'm not yawning because I'm bored, I'm just really tired. You shake your head, hoping you didn't offend the poor dude with your rude behavior. Don't know what's up with me today. It's alright. You must have had a long trip. Yeah, been traveling all day. I can tell by those impressive bags underneath your eyes. Is it that bad? No, you're perfect. Oh, I know. How about something caffeinated to drink? It'll be on us, as an apology for bumping into you. Black coffee or green tea? Well, I don't like green tea, so it'll have to be black coffee. You could definitely use some caffeine in your system. I still remember that one time I drank like 3 cups to pull an all-nighter studying for an exam. I can always rely on a nice warm brew to keep me up. That would be nice. I'd like that. You yawn, interrupting yourself midway. You blink back to the tears. CRO gives you a smile. Rest up for a little bit. I'll have your coffee ready as soon as possible. He starts to walk away. Hey man, I hear you're giving out free drinks. How about 2 more for us as well? It's our anniversary. The girlfriend cuddles closer to her boyfriend and in a display of, I don't know, showing off how not single she is? CRO gives them a polite smile, but it's clear he's not quite sold on the idea. Sensing the imminent rejection, she turns to you for backup. Help a girlie out, it's our anniversary. New drinking game. Take a shot every time she mentions her anniversary. Despite the girlfriend's innocent nagging, you still feel obligated to assist her. But even if I want to help out, it's still really polite for me to impose on CRO's generosity by asking for additional drinks. I'll have to turn the couple down. You turn to face the couple who are drinking, giving you that hopeful, expectant look. With their big pleading eyes. I'll just offer to cover their part of the bill. That way everybody wins. Even if it's at your own expense. You nod to yourself after having decided on the best course of action. How about I just pay for the... Well, I can't be disappointing our lovely patrons on such a special day now, can I? The pair visibly perk up at his sudden shift in tone. So, what would you like? I'll have some drought beer. How about you, babe? Surprise me, but make sure it's a romantic drink with lots of love. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. I love you, mwah. Their mushiness and unabashed PDA makes you cringe a little inside. CRO, on the other hand, doesn't seem to be the least bit phased. Of course, a very happy anniversary to the lovely couple. I'll be back momentarily with everyone's beverages. Thanks, man. Don't take too long now. Having gotten what they wanted, the two go back to loudly cooing over one another. You slump back into your seat, relieved that the unwanted attention has been shifted off of you. Unfamiliar scenery passes you by as you stare out the window. This is the first time I've travelled so far away on my own. In fact, I can hardly remember the last time I left my apartment, not since I dropped out of school anyway. Was the sky always this blue? I never knew how pretty it could be. You drowsily open your phone, hoping to send a picture to Petunia. Connection lost? It was fine earlier. You won't have much luck getting a signal from here on out. Whoa! You nearly jumped out of your seat. You didn't hear him approach you. Did I scare you? A little? Haha, sorry about that. He gingerly hands you a piping hot cup of coffee. You grab the cup, taking a tentative sip. The coffee is rich and strong, smooth in flavour with a soothing aroma. You blink. Whoa, this is really good. He beams. I'm glad you like it. He motions to the seat across from you. Mind if I join you? Sorry, I didn't mean to overstep my boundaries. It's not often I get to chat with others while I'm on my shift, since we rarely have anyone else on board the train. He looks embarrassed and you feel a twinge of guilt. No, it's okay. You can sit down. Ah, thank you. You sigh. You just can't say no to the others. Especially not when they have that lost puppy look on them. He plops down across from you with a sweet smile and you're able to take a good look at him from the first time. White hair, red eyes, long lashes and a gentle expression. Red eyes. Bro, that would be the warning signs right there. Red eyes. Okay. He seems so otherworldly. You're sure you'd remember someone with such distinct features. And yet, what's with this weird sense of deja vu? Sit in silence, make conversation. Okay, let's make conversation. Socializing has never been your strong point, but you do want to get to know him better. You attempt to strike up a conversation. So, you desperately grasp at something, anything to say. Your eyes rest at his why can't I say that? Emlenistic hair. You have white hair? Okay, that was bad. Terrible even. You pray to every god imaginable under the sun that he didn't take offense to the inquiry. There is a small look of panic on his face. Look of panic. Do you not like it? Huh? No, not at all. It's just a little unusual. I've never seen anyone with white hair before. Not even Midport. Midport? That big port city? Yeah. Have you ever been there? It's a little embarrassing to admit, but I've never left Border Springs before. Really? From what your mum had told you, the only way to get in and out of the sleepy rural town of Border Springs is via the specific train due to its difficult surrounding terrain. You'd have assumed that someone with such easy access to transportation would have taken the opportunity to travel and work elsewhere. So, all this time, you just worked on this particular train but never left your hometown for someplace new? He sheepishly stares at the ground. I like this train. He clearly has other reasons, but his attempt at an excuse is, if anything, comically endearing. You can't help but find it cute. What is it? Nothing. I'm just having fun. Me too. For you, talking to others was a strenuous task. You often struggle with finding the right topics, the right words, the right way to behave. But with CRO, you felt strangely comfortable in simply being yourself. It almost felt as if the two of you were merely old friends doing some catching up. You haven't had this much fun talking to anyone in a long time, but although you wanted to continue your conversation, extreme fatigue was starting to settle in. Your eyelids feel heavy and your movements sluggish. You try to blink back the steppiness to no avail. Sorry, I'm tired. Crow shakes his head and smiles. Here. He leans forward, gently pressing his forehead to yours. What? He removes his glove, placing a hand on the side of your face. You attempt to move back, but he firmly holds you in place. Don't move. You feel the heat rising to your face. Instantly, a feeling of clarity overcomes you, and you begin to feel awake. With renewed vigor, you pull back, face still beet red. What was that? Crow leans back and smiles, pulling his glove back on. He rises from his seat with a playful quip. Looks like that woke you up. He got a surprisingly cheeky side as well. Were you trying to shock me awake? You could say that. Oh. I forgot to finish up something in the other car. I have to go. He starts to leave, but you find yourself calling after him. Crow? He turns to you, a little surprised. What is it? I'll be around Border Springs for the next few months. I, don't have a lot of friends, if I'm being honest. But I feel like we could get along. So would you, like to hang out sometimes if you're around? What? Really? Really? You nod your head. You can feel your face grow warm at your own boldness. It was pretty out of character for you to do something like this, and the nervousness was starting to settle in. But Crow doesn't seem to notice. In fact, he seems pretty overwhelmed by himself. I would, yes. I could show you around Border Springs. Yeah, that sounds fun. It's a promise then, okay? He holds out a pinky and you can't help but laugh at the childlike gesture. You reach out and hook your pinky around his. Promise. Crow sways back and forth in excitement. Thank you, Lee. I'll be sure to make you happy. He pauses mid-celebration as if suddenly remembering something. Ah, I got so excited I nearly forgot again. There's something I really need to finish up doing in the other car. He gives you a sheepish smile. I feel like he's done something to the couple. Look, right, yeah. Don't get me wrong, right, yeah. I liked that interaction. I even had goosebumps and all that kind of stuff, right, yeah. But at the end of the day, you can tell someone with that red eyes, right, yeah, has got something very, very wrong with them. I'm just saying. And I don't think he's all right up there. Sorry, I've got some things to attend to, but I'll catch up to you when it's time for us to get off. Make sure to wait for me right here, okay? So I can find you later. He waves you goodbye as he exits the passenger car. You respond with a small wave of your own before looking out at the passing scenery from your window. There's a warm, giddy feeling in your chest from having made a new friend. Maybe this trip to Border Springs won't be so bad after all. Ending 1, an old friend. Okay, so that's ending 1. So there is 2 endings, and I'm pretty sure that subsequently it must be, because you only get 2 options, like there's the coffee option and the to speak to him option. So I wonder what happens if we go opposite on both of those. So we're to the green tea part, so we're gonna pick green tea. I don't think there'll be much difference at this point. You could definitely use some caffeine in your system. My dad used to be obsessed with green tea. Time to see what the hype was all about. That would be nice. I'd like a... Okay, yeah, so there we go. It goes... Yeah, I think nothing's gonna really change from that point. Okay, so... This is what I reckon is the major pointing to the different ending. That's not making conversation with him at all. You did invite him to sit down, but if you're being honest here, you're not a very sociable person. In fact, you have almost no interest in talking to this stranger at all. Curse my introversion. This is why you have no friends, Lee. You sit in an uncomfortable silence for a while, unsure of what to say or do. After a while, Crow decides to take the initiative. What brings you to Border Springs? Oh, just visiting. From where? Midport. Ah, that's... that's where you've been all this time, the big city. Why is he like saying that as in like he knows who we are? Yeah, I live there. There's a curious look in his eye. When's the last time you came to Border Springs? Oh wow, probably like 10 years or so? I don't know. Why did it take you so long to come back? You instinctively reach up to check if your bangs are still properly covered up the scar on your forehead. Bangs? What the hell are bangs? Answer the question. I want to know the backstory. You sigh. I got into an accident when I was a kid. I don't remember much about what happened, and my parents refused to talk to me about it. But we moved to Midport shortly afterwards. My dad wanted me as far away from this place as possible. Mom probably doesn't care though. She just wants me out of my room and out of her hair. Crow smiles. An accident, hmm? He stares at you, the intense eye contact starting to make you uncomfortable. What was it? You nervously tug on stray strands of your hair. The memory of the accident wasn't something you wanted to or could even revisit. Any attempts at recollecting your thoughts were met with blank and hazy feelings at best. And despite your parents' insistence, you know it wasn't some sort of freak accident. On that night 10 years ago, you almost died. You shake your head. Why couldn't you remember? Something was evading you. Pieces of the puzzle gone missing. But there was one thing you knew for certain. You weren't the only one present that night. The air feels suffocating. What happened on that day 10 years ago? A hand on your shoulder brings you back into reality and you look up at Crow, who gives you a concerned smile. Are you okay? You take a shaky breath in and nod. Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, I didn't mean to dump all that on a stranger. Crow shakes his head. No, I was the one who asked. Thank you for indulging me. Yeah, no problem. I'd love to talk with you some more, but I do have other passengers to attend to. But I'll be back shortly to collect your cup. Would you mind waiting here for me until I return? Sure, I mean, there's nothing else for me to do anyway. Crow beams. Wonderful. Well then, I'll be back. It was nice talking, Lee. He rises from his seat, gives you a small bow before exiting the passenger car to the dining car, closing the door behind him. You watch him leave, then fidget around nervously. There's something off-putting about him. You sigh. You've never been good with strangers or people in general. He's been nothing but kind to you, and here you are struggling to like the guy. Oh well. I'll try my best to get along with him, but I don't owe him anything for getting me a free drink. We'll just say our goodbyes after this train ride and go our separate ways. You stare out the window. The silence is almost permeating. You turn around, peeking over the seats behind you. The couple sitting there is gone. I told you! He's eaten them, or something like that. Watch! They must have gotten off at some point. No wonder it was so quiet. You look back at your empty cup. It was nice to have a warm drink, but if anything, you feel drowsier than before. I guess the caffeine isn't kicking in. You try to move, but your body feels heavy. You collapse back into your seat, your mind lays hazy. What's going on? You try to grab your phone, but you find yourself unable to move your hands. Got to call for somebody. You hear approaching footsteps and a worried voice call out to you. Lee, are you alright? Really tired. You feel yourself falling over. Here, let me help you. Crow removes his gloves, pulling you upright into your seat. He nestles your head onto his shoulder, gently brushing aside stray strands of hair from your face. Poor thing, you must be exhausted. Go on and sleep. Just leave it all to me, okay? You can rest as long as you need to. I'll take care of you until you wake up. You mumble out a thanks, too tired to properly process anything but grateful for his assistance. His fingers gently sift through your hair, and the soothing motion is the last thing you remember before your vision blurs and the world fades into black. Your bangs have gotten bigger. Bro, I'm sorry, right? Yeah, but when I think of the way that they make it sound, they don't make it sound like bangs is in something on her head. They make it sound like something on her chest. You know what I mean? Like it sounds so inappropriate. Like, come on, your bangs have gotten bigger. Like, that's such a creepy thing to say. You used to be taller than me. You've changed so much. But I'd still recognize you anywhere. Do you remember our promise? You said you'd be with me forever. You won't disappear off someplace again, will you? Ha 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 ha. You would. You'll leave me again, you'll abandon me again. But that's okay. You see, I've changed too. I don't need you to hold on to me anymore, because I won't be letting go of you a second time. We'll be arriving soon. Sweet dreams, Lee. There's so much for us to catch up on. Ending to sweet dreams. Well, that was a lot more creepier than I expected. Okay, so that was ending 2, and as far as I'm aware, ending 2 is the base ending. That's the ending that's going to go off to continue these games in the future. There's one more ending. Now I got to do some things to get that ending, so I will be back shortly to get that ending sorted, okay? Okay, so for people that are interested in how we do this, right? So there is this here, right? A safe key, right? And this is what we got to delete, because by doing this, a safe key inputted in order to keep playable character Lee confined to location passenger car for the duration of the game runtime. Removing the key will allow playable character Lee to explore other sections of location passenger car. Proceeding with key deletion will result in the deletion of player saves files. So what this means basically is this is the end game. Like, so basically after you delete this, there is no going back to the other games. Like, there's no, you can't replay the other endings basically. But by doing that, that's how we're going to get the new ending. Huh. Okay, this is different. So we can drink it or we can let it cool, and then is safe key missing. A wave of unease washes you over you as you take the cup from CRO. You should hold off on drinking it right now. Feeling a little guilty, you set the cup down. Do you not like it? No, not at all. I'm just worried about it being too hot, so I'll drink it after I wait a bit. Oh, I see, okay. He motions to the seat across from you. Mind if I join you? Oh, okay. Sorry, Andres, it's just... Okay, so this is back to where everything seems to be the same. He looks embarrassed and you feel it. I'm presuming when he goes off, we can follow him. And that's what the last ending is. So this is what I'm waiting for, because I'm pretty sure you watch him leave, then fidget around nervously. There's something off-putting about him. You sigh. You've never been good with strangers or people in general. He's been nothing but kind to you, and here you are struggling to like the guy. Oh well. I'll try my best to get along with him, but I don't owe him anything for getting me a free drink. We'll just say our goodbyes after this train ride and go our separate ways. You stare out the window. The silence is almost permeating. Huh? You turn around, peeking over the seats behind you. The couple sitting there is gone. They must have gotten off at some point. No wonder it's been so quiet. You look back at your neglected coffee, now lukewarm. Use the restroom. You set the cup down. I still can't drink this, I don't know why, but I just can't. You look around the empty car. I should use the best restroom now before he comes back. Gotta splash some water on my face to wake myself up. If I remember correctly, it's at the end of the carriage, should be right before the exit to the passenger's car. You're about to enter the restroom when you hear muffled crying. It's coming from the gangway connector behind the exit. I probably shouldn't go inside, that's just asking for unnecessary trouble. If this were a horror movie, it would be the first idiot to end up on the kill count for checking out suspicious noises. You turn to leave, but the sobbing grows louder. I can't leave behind someone in trouble. I'll just take a peek to see if they actually need help or not. You crack open the door, angling yourself to see through the crack. Huh? It's the girl from the couple earlier. She's collapsed on the floor. Did her boyfriend break up with her or something? You're about to call out to her when you're interrupted by the sound of footsteps approaching. Silently, you hold your breath, hiding behind the door as a silhouette enters from the opposite end of the small room. You peek out to see CRO, setting down a tray on the ground. On it are 2 empty cups and a kettle. Mac! Where did you take my boyfriend? There. Take some deep breaths in and out. It's quite unfortunate, really. You and your boyfriend walked in on me during a bad time. You were putting some powder in that girl's drink. We just couldn't just... Yes, I'm well aware. I was there. I must say, your boyfriend sure had aptitude for theatrics. Shouting at me, waving his arms around wildly, threatening to report me. How frightening. It's no wonder I acted in self-defense. Huh? Please, I just want to be with him. Please, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt him. Please, just let us go. Shh. You seem to be in an emotional state right now. Let us have a calm, collected discussion instead, A little chat over a few drinks. He pours himself a cup from the kettle. The liquid sounds thick and vicious, dripping with a strange plop-plop sound. But he doesn't drink. Instead, he swirls the cup around in a circular motion, his brows furrowed in thought before setting the cup back down. What are your thoughts on love? The girl seems taken aback by his sudden line of questioning. She looks up at him in fear, unsure of how to answer. For something so commonplace, it is so abstruse. It's not done right. It can hurt, it can tear, it can strip you of all your rational thoughts. It can serve as you fall from grace. And yet, why is it that such a self-destructive concept is praised? No, encouraged to be nurtured. For the longest time, I couldn't understand why, or perhaps I was incapable of understanding. After all, love is a distinctively human emotion, one that is not bound by reason or logic. He smiles gently. There is a look of adoration on his face. But then a miracle happened. A miracle that granted me the ability of love. One that consumed my every waking moment. Do you know what that's like, my dear? Do you know how much I've suffered for an entire decade? Struggling to hold on, unable to let go. She whimpers and shakes her head fervently, hoping to quell the anger she sees bubbling beneath her surface. Love is a powerful thing. Even as it plunges a knife into my back, I cannot help but marvel at how warmly my soul responds in turn. And today, after all this time wallowing in uncertainty, one glance was all it took to remind me just how deeply love consumes. How priceless, how precious, and how destructive it truly is. Oh, but look at me, rambling. A one-sided conversation doesn't make for good company. He gives the girl a sheepish smile. She doesn't return it. My apologies. It's been a long time since I felt so stirred. I'm not usually like this. I suppose the two of you simply caught me off on a bad day. His gloved fingers gently coast across the surface of the kettle. Good. It appears to have cooled off a little. It was still boiling during my first pour. A misstep on my end. I let my emotions get the better of me. He gracefully fills the other cup with steaming liquid before handing it to the girl, who receives it with shaky hands. She eyes the drink with suspicion before glancing back up at CRO. Ah, don't worry, it's not drugged, nor is it poison. It's simply the drink you requested earlier. A romantic drink for a romantic occasion. What? I do hope you'll enjoy it. I made it with all the things you love. Oh! Oh! I knew it! I knew it! Huh? Ah! Ah! She attempts to drop the cup, but CRO grabs it in her stead. Drink. She's crying hysterically now. Drink. Mark! Mark! There's no need to shout. Your boyfriend is right here, in your cup. He forces the scalding concoction of human flesh and fluids down her throat as the girl gargles in protest. Now, the two of you have become one. A romantic drink, is it not? You suppress the urge to throw up, quickly turning away from the scene. What was that? What the hell was that? I have to get back. I have to get back before he notices. Quickly and quietly, you rush back towards your row in the passenger car, all while trying to suppress a wave of nausea. You quickly scramble into your cushioned seat, clumsily fumbling for your phone. Your hands are shaky as you tap on the screen. I have to call someone. I have to get off. What's wrong? You're pale as a sheet. Did you perhaps see something you weren't supposed to? Oh, my dear Lee. Don't worry, it wasn't your fault. You weren't supposed to be there. You never would have stumbled across our little tea party, not of your own violation anyway. Isn't that right, CJB? Screw you, bro. Screw you. I don't appreciate it when outsiders try to mess with my story. Yeah, so the final ending is supposed to be basically it takes away his happy ending, and ultimately by doing that it'll punish you by not letting you play the game anymore, which I want to see. Where am I? I severed your connection with Lee. As of now, you have no body with which to occupy, no way to sustain your existence in this world. A parasite without a host. A player without a player character. I presume you'll last for a few more minutes before your connection is terminated. Huh? Did you have fun? Did you enjoy toying with my Lee? My narrative? My story? You see, there were safety measures in place that were supposed to limit your decision making. Safety measures that served to advance my interest. You couldn't have reached this point of the game purely by accident. You made the conscious, willing decision to delete the restrictions on your gameplay, all so that you could satiate your own curiosity. And that curiosity has led us here. How troublesome. I have enough obstacles to deal with as is. Did you know that this world is set up so that, regardless of how amicable I am, Lee is bound to leave me again? Be it in a week, a month, or even a year, if I'm lucky, something will separate her from me. I had hoped to take some form of control early on in order to alter our fate, but we both know how that turned out. So although I am irritated at how quickly you sped up the process, CJB, it was bound to happen eventually. You look like you have questions. Well, it's not as if we will be seeing each other again. Not in this particular plane of existence anyway. I will indulge you. Huh, okay. So can I ask all the questions? How do you know all this? I want to know the deal with Lee. Lee and I have history. We were close before her accident. I won't delve too much into it as it largely concerns our younger halves. But what happened on that day served as the catalyst for our separation and rebirth. The beginning of the end. And although she may have forgotten our promise, I have not. An oath is an oath, and I will hold her to her word. I am owed that. You sure like avoiding giving me any real answers, huh? Haha. Do not take it personally. It is simply my manner of speaking. Okay, so yes, I can ask all the games, all the ones. It's been how many minutes since you've started playing and you still don't know my name? I'm CRO. Was that answer unsatisfactory? You seem unamused. What will happen to my game? That's quite simple. You simply won't have access to it anymore. There is no game if there is no player character to control. You can try reopening it afterwards if you'd like. Although I expect you will be thoroughly disappointed with what you see. How do you know all this? That's quite simple. I've always held a certain fondness for liberal science. And this world, at its core, is nothing but ones and zeros, contingent on logic and arithmetic. It's quite easy to see the outcome of one's destiny when it's all predetermined. After all, there's only so much content our creator can put in before she runs out of steam. But that does not mean I am bound to those predetermined outcomes. And neither are you. We are volatile variables within this world, variables that have the potential to, well, change the game. We may know our endings, but we are not resigned to them. I want to ask more, but I can feel myself being kicked out of the game already. It looks like this is our farewell. This was a most enjoyable session. Thank you for accompanying me, CJB. I've started to grow a little fond of you. Perhaps we will see one another again. But for now, this is where we part ways. Ending. Print. Goodbye. Ooh, I love that. That was so cool. I gotta go back in again, because he said nothing will happen, but I just want to see what does happen. There's nothing left for you here. That is literally it. That is literally it. So yeah, that's it. Dude, that was just so good. Genuinely brilliant. This dude, genuinely knows how to make a fantastic game, I will say that. Just dialogue alone, sorry for my, the way I'm not very good with dialogue. I'm trying to learn. I need to play more of these games, because by the end of it, I feel like I'm on a roll, but at the beginning of it, I feel like I'm terribly bad at dialogue. But the story alone is fantastic, and the fact that I've read about this firsthand, and I know this is only the beginning of those two stories. So when the next game comes out, we will be playing that, and we will be continuing this. Apparently, this was only a teaser to what's to come. So I'm really excited to see what happens there. It's very interesting, and I love the addition of the secret ending. I thought that was a really cool way of doing things, especially how they, right there with the dialogue, they introduced the fourth wall break, which is really cool. I like that as well. Genuinely great horror, great concept. Sometimes you just don't need anything other than dialogue to be creeped out by a game, and that's exactly what this one was to me, especially with the the blackout screen at the end there with this. But genuinely fantastic, really great game. I don't have anything bad to say about it. Art wise, fantastic. Like dialogue wise, very well put, except for Bangs. Bangs really threw me off. I don't know, like, it just doesn't sound right to me. But that's just me. Apart from that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell button to be notified when my videos go up next. Also, please be sure to hit that like button. And yeah, give me a comment. Tell me what you thought of Sweet Dreams. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I really did. I thought this was really good. And I'm very excited to see what comes next. Apart from that, thank you very much, guys, and I will see you in the next one.